Happy New Year, everyone! Hopefully all of you guys had a fun and safe New Year. A new year is upon us, but first let's take a look at the coolest New Balances that were released or revealed during the last month of 2023 in December. As usual, I'll start off the video with all of the New Balances that were officially released in some sort of a capacity in December 2023, and I'll end off the video with all of the New Balances that were revealed or leaked in December. First up, we have the 991 V2 in the core navy colorway. I personally really like the 991 V2 in this navy colorway better. I know gray is the classic New Balance color, and while the 991 V2 definitely looks good in gray, I personally just think this shade of navy looks a lot better on the model. The 991 V2, as you can tell by the name, is a new version of the classic main UK 991. It features fuel cell in addition to absorb in the midsole and a slightly updated shape. Make sure to stay tuned for my full review of the navy 991 V2 later on in 2024. And next up is the 991 V1 in the Urban Winter 2-pack. This special winterized pack of 991 V1s consists of two different colorways, one of which looks very similar to the Jound collab that released earlier this year. It is in a slightly lighter shade of brown, and both colorways feature ripstop nylon. The next colorway in the pack is more of a gray and black colorway, and it kind of consists of ripstop nylon that has like kind of a dark blue tint. I'm not too sure, maybe that's just me, but that's what I think it looks like. And both are pretty solid winter colorways, and what's great about it is because of the ripstop in place of mesh, the shoe will be warmer for your feet and is more resistant to moisture. And next up are the last three colorways of Teddy Santa Season 4. First up is the 990 V6 in this very nice sepia orange colorway. The shoe consists of a mostly orange upper with suedes as well as sepia accents around the shoe. It's a very nice orange shoe that incorporates neutral tones, and I really like the contrast of the black in the end logo and on the midsole. I think it's a rock solid colorway on the V6, and I was really happy to see the V6 get an orange colorway. And next were two 998 colorways, one of which is a brown, orange, and green colorway, and the other one was an orange, blue, and green colorway. I thought both of them were fine. I didn't really care too much for either of them. They definitely weren't bad colorways by any means, but I just simply didn't care too much for them. Starting off the collabs that dropped during December, we have the Pada 991 V2 collaboration in two different colorways. One colorway is this dark purple colorway, and the other one is a pine green colorway. I think the collab is fine. They both have accents of neon green in the laces and on the midsole. I personally don't really care too much for that accent, and I think this collab is pretty plain and is very reminiscent of a similar 991 V1 GR 2-pack that released earlier on in the year in similar colorways, albeit in suede instead of leather. I think the collab is fine, but I just really didn't care too much for it. And next up is the Joe Freshgoods 990 V4 1998 collaboration that consisted of three different colorways. The first colorway is called the Acacia Blue colorway, and it was exclusive to Joe Freshgoods' Chicago store. I think it looks alright, but it's definitely my least favorite out of the three. It's an almost all blue upper with a black midsole, and then the other two colorways had a wider release. First up is the Intro colorway, and it consists of a mostly white upper with accents of black in the end logo and the mesh. It also features patent leather where you typically find nubuck on the 990 V4. I think it's a simple and clean colorway, and I really like the contrast between the black and the white. And lastly is the Outro colorway, which is my personal favorite colorway out of the three, and it's basically the complete opposite of the Intro colorway. Instead of it being mostly white with black accents, it's mostly black with white accents, and I personally really like the contrast on this specific colorway the best. I love the pop of white in the end logo and the mesh, and the white patent leather looks really good as well. It was a pretty solid collab from Joe Freshgoods, and it was definitely really popular. And next up was an MLE Andor collaboration on the Main USA 996 in two different colorways, both of which consisted of really high quality tumbled leather. They're simple black and white colorways respectively, both of which had accents of incense suede on the back. They're like elevated basic shoes, definitely not something I really needed, but I can definitely appreciate the more premium materials. And next up is a collaboration with activewear brand District Vision on the Fresh Foam Foam X More Trail. I haven't really heard too much about this brand until they collaborated with New Balance. Considering that they are an activewear brand, I think it's pretty fitting that they're collaborating on a performance running and trail model. Both of the colorways consist of neutral tones. One of them is mostly brown in both the midsole and the upper with some accents of black, and the other colorway has a big black midsole as well as accents of cream and light tan. They're simple neutral tone colorways, and I think it was a good choice of colors for an activewear collaboration. And next up is probably one of the most underrated collabs of the year, and that is the Levi's 580 collaboration in two different colorways. One of the 580s consists of some beige hairy suede and has accents of gray denim in areas where mesh is typically found, as well as accents of blue and magenta. And then the other colorway mostly consists of a dark gray nubuck and some dark blue denim where mesh is typically found, as well as accents of blue and magenta, both of which consists of the signature red Levi's tag near the TPU plastic on the ankle area. And I think it was a pretty solid collab from both New Balance and Levi's. You guys know I really love the 580, and I think it was one of the best silhouettes of 2023, and I think the colorways were executed well on the 580 model, and I really like how they incorporated the Levi's denim in the typical mesh panels. And next up is another ALD collab, this time on the Rainier Low in 3 different colorways. I briefly went over this collaboration in my mid-monthly video for December, and my opinion has stayed the same. I was actually pretty surprised to see a good majority of the sizes and colorways sell out on ALD's website. I mean, I guess they could just be in a low stock, but regardless, I was surprised because the Rainier Low isn't really that popular of a silhouette, and I think most of the colorways were pretty striking. Of course, you guys know I like the striking colorways. I especially like the yellow colorway, the all hairy suede yellow colorway with some dark blue laces, looks really nice. And then you got like a cream white colorway with pops of orange in the laces and the midsole, and then probably the simplest colorway is the brown suede colorway with purple laces. I think all of the colorways look good on the Rainier Low. I thought it was a pretty fun collaboration, and especially on an unusual silhouette. And next up is a Japan exclusive Atmos collaboration on the 550. They call it the Back in Black collaboration, and as you can tell from the pictures, it's pretty much just a mostly black 550 with pops of white in the N logo and the piping around the shoe, as well as the 550 spell out. The mid panel also consists of suede, which is different than the standard GRs, which is just leather. And this is like the 550 version of the Outro colorway from the Joe Freshgoods collaboration, or at least that's what I think. It's definitely a simple collab, but I can't deny that it is pretty clean. And next up is a 3-way collaboration on the 580 by designer Mr. Sabotage and boutique limited edition Singapore. Collab is called the Urban Islander, and I definitely think it's pretty solid. It's a low-key heat type of collab, and I think it looks great on the 580. It's supposed to pay homage to the country of Singapore, and it's supposed to encapsulate simultaneously living in an urban environment as well as a tropical retreat. You get sand-colored hairy suede, and you also get special woven black textiles around the shoe to give it a handcrafted feel. Overall, I think it's a pretty solid collaboration. And now I'm gonna go over all of the New Balances that were revealed or leaked during the month of December. First up are 2 new GR colorways for the 991 V1. The first colorway is called the Pale Khaki colorway, and it's pretty self-explanatory. The upper is made out of suede that is in a pale khaki colorway, and it's a pretty simple and neutral tone shoe. And then the other colorway is called the Delicioso colorway, pretty funny name, and it's a mostly brown suede upper with accents of lighter brown and tan in the mesh and the nubuck panels. It's another simple but solid neutral tone pair on the 991 V1. Also revealed in December but literally dropped today is the Lunar New Year pack. I'll go over that during January's episode. And next up we got a reveal as well as a small confirmation that these Teddy Santis pairs are actually going to be the first wave of Teddy Santis Season 5, even though they kind of released already earlier during Season 4. I don't really know how they released earlier. I wouldn't even call them like an early unscheduled release, like some official retailers got them, but regardless, these neutral tone pairs, the colorways I'm talking about are the 990 V6, the V4, and I think the 996 as well in the gray colorways with accents of black, and in place of mesh is this interesting textile material, which I initially thought was corduroy. It still looks like corduroy in the pictures, but upon closer inspection, it is just textile. These colorways will be part of the first wave of Teddy Santis Season 5, coming soon in early 2024. And next up is an upcoming collaboration with Parisian Korean collective 99 Ginger on the 1906R with this very interesting crocodile coated upper. This collaboration replaces the standard mesh and rubberized plastic upper of the 1906R with a big panel of dark green crocodile skin, or at least that's what it's supposed to look like. I doubt it's actual crocodile skin, and I even doubt it's actual leather, but regardless, it's definitely an interesting look for the 1906R. And lastly, our two new collaborations on the 1906R. First up is the upcoming Action Bronson Rosewater 1906R collab. This is the third Action Bronson 1906R collaboration colorway, or at least the ones that we've seen. The first two I've already gone over but have yet to release, but it looks like this Rosewater colorway is going to be dropping soon, and I personally like it the best out of the three. You get a very bright and colorful outsole with various colors, and the upper is pretty solid. I like how it's a mostly neutral, like light gray and white base, but then you get pops of neon green in the laces as well as magenta in the tongue and back. That orange midsole and outsole looks so fire. This is definitely my favorite Action Bronson collaboration since the 990 V6 and the Lapis Lazuli colorway. And lastly is the Salehe Bembry 1906R collaboration. I already went over this in a thoughts video, and both me and the people at Sneaker Freaker originally thought that these were gonna release near the very end of 2023, but as of today they still haven't released, so expect an early 2024 release, probably by the end of January, but who knows. I think both of the colorways are very loud and wild. The orange, blue, and red colorway is a bit too out there and random even for me, but I definitely like the silver colorway with kind of like a flame gradient. You get yellow, orange, and red, and I think it looks pretty fire, pun intended. But regardless, it's definitely going to be a very popular collaboration, especially since it's a Salehe Bembry collab. And one last collab that was revealed in December that I forgot to go over in the filming of the video was an upcoming Bodega collaboration on the 650R. This upcoming collab was teased by Drew Barr from Instagram. He is one of the designers or executives from Bodega, and as you can see in this solid lineup of Bodega collaborations right under the 610 is this 650R, and with classic Bodega fashion, it utilizes a palette of unique colors and it works really well on the silhouette. Obviously this is the only official image we have right now, but there was also an on-feet shot and they look really nice. You can see hairy suede in the back, and I really like how it's a low-key heat type of collaboration with nice pops of colors on a neutral tone shoe. There's no word on when this collab is going to release, hopefully early 2024. So that's going to wrap up all of the coolest New Balances that were released or revealed in December 2023. Let me know what your guys' favorites were in the comments below. So that's going to do it for this video. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Follow me on my socials. Check out the Intelligent site for more New Balance content and guides. If you really love the video, please consider leaving a super thanks in the tip jar below. And thanks for watching.